Welcome back to San Diego State University. There's a look down at the field here on the campus of the Aztecs. Rady Field, as this tournament is brought to you by Rady Children's Hospital. 7 a.m. in Frankfurt, 7 a.m. in Hong Kong, having some breakfast. 1 a.m. in Frankfurt. Maybe tipping back a couple late steins as you join us here on ESPN. If you want to be interactive with us on the broadcast, you can find me on Twitter at Teddy Jenner. Hong Kong is the number 14 seed after pool play. They were 3-1 in Pool E, where they finished second. The Germans are the 11th seed. They also went 3-1, but they did that in Pool D. Japan knocked off Germany 9-4 in the first playoff game. The Germans outscored 7-1 in the second half of that one. For Hong Kong, China, they lost 13-3 to the Haudenosaunee in their first playoff game, where they were down 8-1 at half. Here are your starters for the Germans, who will wear their white jerseys with black, red, and yellow trim. Florian Fellenbacher will start in goal. Jakob Bokerman, Matthias Lehne, Lucas Kins, Adam Eakins, David Beckman, Marius Boots, Lasse Volkortsen, Peter Witten, Per Olters, and Christian Schultz. And there is a look at the German goaltender, Florian Fellenbacher. On the other side, starting in goal, will be number 8, Wilson Wong. Crazy story about Wilson Wong. Last night after a Haudenosaunee game, his wife was brought out his girlfriend was brought out onto the field for a picture with her favorite player, Lyle Thompson, only to turn around and see Wesley Wong on a knee proposing, and of course, she said yes. Nelson Mack, William Jean, Wilson Wong, Billy Lamb, Tommy Churng, Dash Sai, Raymond Wei, Wesley Wong, Evan Mokleme, and Tony Ko are your starters for Hong Kong. The winner gets Italy in the next round and a chance to move up and get as high as 9th. Germany will win the opening possession, and we are underway from San Diego. Adam Eakins will float high and give it to Lucas Kins. 2 goals, 2 assists in this tournament for Lucas Kins out of Kiel, Germany. Now Florian Werner, as the Germans make some slow changes through the midfield. No shot clock in international play here at the World Championship. And no advancement stall calls either. But eventually the referees will call the stall for staying in the box. Here is Germany with their first attack into the offensive foray. Lasse Volkortsen led the team with 17 points at the U21 championships in Limerick back in 2022. Eakins. He's got a short stick matchup behind the net. Carries strong left, tucks back, and pushed out at the goal line extended. And now right underneath us, Florian Werner. Spins back to his preferred right hand. Pass doesn't connect. It'll fall to the far side. The number 26, Winton Bastian. Here's Per Olters, the top point getter for the Germans, 12-2. Heavy outside shot, didn't miss by much. Wong might have got a piece of it. Backed up by the Germans, and they will continue with the first offensive possession here. Gets inside to the island. Good defensive check as Lasse Volkortsen tried to get to the top of the crease. And now Hong Kong will try and clear. Wing Churn. Give it off to Ho Chak Sum. And now he's double teamed here on the near sideline, trying to find someone to outlet to. Might have to use his wheels. Ho Chak Sum will be able, eventually I think, be able to get across center here as the double team comes again, gets trapped in the far corner. And just being patient, now will use his athletic ability and find an open man up the field is Kelvin Mack. Crazy story about Kelvin Mack, number 33, actually came to my hometown of Victoria, BC to learn the indoor box game and ended up playing for our senior B team, did Kelvin Mack. What a fantastic story. Good to see him again. Haven't seen him in a few years since he was out in Victoria for a summer. And now here in San Diego on the world stage. Mack drives to the right. as they swing it through X. Dash Sai. Logan Ip has been their most productive scorer. 12 goals, 5 assists. And good defense by the Germans, making sure that Tony Ko can't get into the middle of the field. Now they'll try an isolation from up top. Off the split dodge, Logan Ip. Finds the extra man on the backside. Ball pops free. That was Kelvin Mack. And the Germans can't find it. And battling it on the far side is Matthias Lena. And Lena will move it over and throw it away, but a flag down. And an EMO opportunity here on a 1-minute slash coming for Germany. And it'll be Tony Ko who will head off for the slash. Talking with So here come the Germans. With the EMO opportunity, top center. Keens, full court. Jump shot, saved there by Wong. He's going to have to escape out the backside and give it off to Tommy Churn. Churn back to Wong in the Hong Kong China Club. We'll start a slow break. And now here comes some pressure from the German attack. Wong will just play cat and mouse behind his cage with Per Olters and throw it far side, and they don't connect, and this one will scoot out of bounds. So an unforced error there, one from both defenses. The Germans obviously didn't hurt them as a flag was down, but maybe some unsettled play here from some of the long poles. They are battling the sun as the bouncer goes. Per Olters on the man up. Give him his 13th of the game. And this was a lovely bounce shot that beats Wong far side. Had his stick to the middle of the field. And a slow rotation by the Hong Kong defender. And Per Olters gets the bouncer to go. And Germany is on the board first here with 9:15 remaining on a running clock. Other than full official timeouts, clock will only stop with the final 30 seconds of quarters 1, 2, and 3. And then in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, play will stop as well. Germany wins the draw again. Lucas Keens all the way through the middle, and then a one-handed flip-off to Eakins. Eakins double team, good pressure by the Hong Kong defense, and it finally goes out of play off a German stick. Good pressure there by Hong Kong, Jackie Chu. And now it's Evan Mockleme. We'll go far side to his long pole defenseman. I believe that's Nelson Mack, number 6. Now Wilson Wong. Wong finds his man in the middle, Kelvin Mack, and he's able to leg it across center. What can Hong Kong do here to try to get back in this game down 1? They lost their opening game to Italy 13-5, where they were down 7-2 after the first quarter, but have rattled off 3 straight wins since then before losing to the Haudenosaunee. Near side, Kelvin Mack. Splits, goes hard right, now through X. Good defense by Marius Boots, one of the leaders on the back end for the Germans. Mockleme. These are there for Logan Ip. Ip, Mockleme dances, gets checked, falls to the ground, flag thrown, and it looks like it'll be a push in the back with possession. And it will be a 1-minute push from the back, and with 7:12 to go, we'll go to a TV timeout. The Germans are on the board with a Per Olters bounce shot. But Hong Kong will have the EMO opportunity when we come back. This is the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship from San Diego on ESPN. There's a look at the German defense, talking what they're going to do here on the man-down opportunities. They lead at 1-0 over Hong Kong, Korea. The winner gets Italy tomorrow in the next round. And a chance to play for 9th place, which would be the highest placing for Hong Kong, whose best came in 2015. Back in 2002, they were 27th in Netanya back in 2018. It's the 7th World Championships for the Germans. They finished 6th in 98 and 2010, and they were 9th last time in Netanya. On the EMO, pass knocked down nicely by the defensive stick and Matthias Lena, and then a loose ball push will give possession back to Hong Kong, China. Penalty release, back to even strength, skip pass. One more. They want the outside shot. They do, and it goes in! Tony Ko, just as the penalty expired, plants his feet, burns corner, and Hong Kong is on the board. Just too much time and room for Tony Ko. His 3rd of the championship. He, like many, and I mean many, of his teammates hailing from Hong Kong, China, and going to the University of Hong Kong. And that is an excellent goal from Tony Ko. And with 5:50 remaining, the clock continues to run in this tie game. Procedure called on the Germans. Now, can Hong Kong get some momentum going in their favor with Evan Mockleme? I highly suggest go to evanmockleme.com. It's the young man's website. He does incredible work helping to grow the game at both a local in Hong Kong and international level, as he's the World Lacrosse Manager of Sport Development. So not only is he playing in this tournament, he's been a big part of helping this tournament get off the ground and do great things in China. So evanmockleme.com, great website, a lot of good information there on some of the projects that he's worked on. Here's Matt C. C gets pushed, flag down, a little too aggressive there by the German defender, and he knew it right away. And again, Hong Kong will go to the man advantage. In pool play, they converted on 83.3%. That was first, best overall in the entire tournament. And then even after the game against the Haudenosaunee, they're still in first, but they've dropped quite considerably, down to 71.4. What can they do here? Already 0 for 1. Tony Ko, top center. Logan Ip. Pass in front. Loose ball. I don't think they're going to count this as a goal, are they? Officials are talking it through. Still no call. And they're going to say no goal in the crease. As we'll take a look, there is the heavy outside shot. Ball skips off Fellenbacher. It was loose in his crease, picked up. Can't quite see who that was. Trying to find the garbage. But they ruled him in the crease anyway, so Fellenbacher will walk it up here in the clear for Germany. 1-1 is your score. 3:50 to go here in the opening quarter. My name's Teddy Jenner. Appreciate you tuning in. It is another hot day here in San Diego. Add another 10-15 to the temperature on the turf, so it's quite warm for the fellows down there who've been battling all week long. This is day 8. There's a long pull shot from number 42, Eskander Ben Issa. He already has one pole goal this tournament. And now here come the Germans. Back to even strength. Eakins to Florian Werner. And they go far side. Jakob Bokerman. Bokerman with a head of steam. Pushed down the alley nicely by the Hong Kong defense. And carrying high is Volkwartsen. Gives it off to Bastian, driving to the goal line, extended. Good job by the Hong Kongs to recover and push Bastian all the way through X. He's watched closely there by Raymond Way. Now back near side, Werner. He'll go one-on-one with Dragon Chung. Werner flips it back to Bokerman. And Bokerman will back out and go one-on-one with Ho Chak Sun. Nice little matchup here. Bokerman, good again. Another nice rotation by the Hong Kong defense. Eakins trying to back his way down. Volkwartsen! The top point getter from the U21s in Limerick back in 2022. And he carries a heavy, heavy shot. They swing it back through X to Volkwartsen. And then he just runs on a dime, puts it in his right, and he's able to beat Wilson Wong to restore the 1-goal lead for the Germans with his 7th of the tournament. Volkwartsen out of Frankfurt. And he is a lot to handle. And that was not an easy shot for Wilson Wong. As Volkwartsen just got his hands free enough. And used that strength and power through the midsection to crank and get it past Wong. Face-off win by Hong Kong. Should win a lot of face-offs, as their head coach Bob Snyder nicknamed the Blade, as he was so good at face-offs as a National Lacrosse League face-off man, and teaching a lot of kids on this Hong Kong team how to be one of the best in the business. Here's Gay Chan. Hayden Churn. Back to Chan. Carry down the right alley. Wants to come back, and he will give it off to Hayden Churn. Churn's got 1 goal in this tournament. Can he get his second here? Skip past far side, and a nice handle there. I believe that's Ip on the far side. Check that. That is Mock-LeMay. He'll take a shot, saved by Fellenberger. As with this sunshine, the red number is a little hard to see on the back of some of the Hong Kong black jerseys. Now the Germans are running through midfield with transition speed. And they got a pull on the far side, force it inside late in the clock as they were looking for low Valkwartsen. And ended up in the stick of Wilson Wong. So scary opportunity there on the fast break by the Germans. But Wilson Wong keeps this a 2-1 game as we take a look at some of the action from the first quarter. As that heavy outside shot came off the stick of Tony Coe. And then Lasse Volkwartsen gives the Germans a lead 2-1 from San Diego State University. It's the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championships on ESPN. The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. Back to live play here on Rady Field on the campus of San Diego State University. 2-1, Germany leading Hong Kong, China. My name's Teddy Jenner. Thanks for tuning in on ESPN+. If you want to get at me on Twitter, at Teddy Jenner. Let me know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, maybe some interesting tidbits on any of these men playing here this afternoon. The Germans slow and methodical to start the second quarter, as they were given the lead by Lasse Volkwartsen. 4 minutes left in the first. Running time here at the World Championships, except for the final 30 seconds of the first and third and final minute of the fourth quarter. Running through X is Simon Vermeer. Bounce shot, turned aside nicely there by Wilson Wong. Tracked it with his stick, using that top hand, and punched it all the way out to the far sidelines. But Germany able to recover. And they'll run with Simon Vermeer. Now they'll go X with Volkwartsen. Shot through a screen, soaked by a defender. Not sure who that was. Might have been Nelson Mack wearing that one off the hip. Now the Germans at X. Adam Eakins will slowly hop into his D-man. Attacks the short stick, slide comes early. Good rotation by Hong Kong. And then a spinning move there by number 8, Eakins. This might have been Felix Keens. Olters. Hesitation, gets inside, shoots. And Wong with the save. I'm not sure how he made that save. They'll call Olters in the crease. But a heck of a save by Wilson Wong. Check the replay. As Olters, little hezzy, gets back underneath. And then as he dives, Wong makes the save. And then Olters tumbles into the crease. Here's Dash Sai. Sai goes to Stanford University here in California. Father, Joe Sai, owner of the local San Diego Seals of the NLO, and he's been a very vocal spectator on the sidelines here all week for not only his team, but his son, Dash. He's had quite a nice tournament, 5 goals, 6 points. Trailing by a goal here. What's that? 3 minutes gone into the second quarter. Here's Kelvin Mack. Splits. Gets pushed back nicely there by Gnutzman. Mack. And then gives it off to Keith Sang. And now Logan Ip with a head of steam. Ip was the CIF Player of the Year in 2021 as the officials put the stall on. Here's Yip, spin back, one extra, pass inside, and unable to finish with Keith Sang. Glorious opportunity on the doorstep for Sang, but he bobbled possession off the pass from Ip. Now running is Germany. Schilling. And Hong Kong back in numbers. The Germans will retreat and slow things up. Volkortsen as both teams send changes through the midfield. Volkortsen working with Eakins at X. Slips through the double. Eakins. And good recovery again by this Hong Kong defense. Eakins had his man hung up off the two-man game. And they're able to rotate through and communicate well and get back on hands. Volkortsen at X. Inside feed. Nice handle all alone. Scores! Per Olters with his 14th of the tournament, second of this game. And it is 3-1 Germany. And watch the feed by Volkortsen through sticks, and then Olters able to get past his man and then just keeps his feet moving. Doesn't rush it. His patience, gives a couple fakes to Wong and is able to bury it in the back of the net. And it's now a 2-goal lead, 3-1 for the Germans. At the face-off dot, who will find the clamp? It will be Hong Kong and Hayden Churn. But the Germans, relentless on approach, able to cause that turnover with Lucas Keens. Keens will float it back to Peter Wittmann. Here come the Germans again, Per Olters. Swings it to Volkortsen. And now he'll rotate high, and they skip it to the far side as changes continues to be made by both teams. Germany could have some numbers here in transition. Slow change by Hong Kong, but again, good communication by the men in black to catch up and pick up numbers. Lars Nietz. Felix Keens will carry. He's got a short stick matchup at X. As the Germans drop into a bit of a 1-1-4 with 4 guys way up top, the top of the straining. Bounce pass to Per Olters. And then he'll flip it back to Winston Bastian. Bastian and Olters. Trying to find a short stick matchup for Olters. And now Olters will clear through for Bastian. Bastian will take the short stick behind. And now HongKong almost drops into a zone, and now they'll rotate back out. Dan McCrae, defensive coach for Team HongKong, told me that the majority of their long poles speak fluent Cantonese and don't speak English. So when they're out there in their defensive units, they're speaking in their native language. So he sometimes has trouble communicating, but they've done a nice job. Here's a heavy outside shot that sneaks by Wong. Full Courtson from 25 deep. And the Germans have scored 3 straight and have a 3-goal lead. It's 4-1. As this was some heat like the sun in San Diego on ESPN. Back to Rady Field here on San Diego State University campus. There's a look at Lasse Bold-Courtson. And here's a look at his latest tally as he gets it right back from Per Olters and said, you know what? I got this range in my bag. And he certainly does, as it gets past Wilson Wong in the Hong Kong cage. 4-1 Germany leading. Winner of this game gets Italy tomorrow. And it will be Lucas Kientz going up against Hayden Churng at the face-off dot. Kientz has gone 56.3%. And the duo of Churng and Will Zern have gone for 45%. So the officials just talking some things over here. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. And now we are back. Field is set. Officials are set. Second quarter continues with 7:36 remaining. Germans up 3. Good crowd here on hand. About 100 people watching below us. Battling the elements in the sunshine. Of course, there's a big game going on a few miles down the road. Canada versus Jamaica. Canada, last I checked, was up 4-0 on Jamaica, who have been one of the stories of this tournament. And young Stone Evans, the 17-year-old, still has a year in high school, who's really put his name on the map here. In the game you're watching right now, these two teams trying to make a name for themselves, as well as Hong Kong trying to continue moving forward to their highest placement ever in a World Championships. And Germany will try to match their 9th place finish from 2018. Here comes Hong Kong with Wesley Wong. Dash side number 19. Moves over to Matt C. Churn. Not only does it at the face-off X, but trying to do it in the offensive zone as well. Dash side to X. Side will move it off to number 35, Evan Mockleme. Mockleme with a head of steam. Good job there by the Germans to run through the pick. Triple team Mockleme to the turf. Keeps his feet moving in possession. Double team still on his heels. Flag down. Good job, Evan Mockleme. Dash side. Rolls underneath. Side low to low. And ends up on the outside of the net. But with 5:50 in running, Hong Kong with a chance to go to the EMO opportunity and cut this lead in half. But just great work. Keeping his feet moving and then tries to go low to low. But Fellenberger got just enough to turn that one aside. What can Hong Kong do here with the man advantage? Ip will set things up top center. Gets it from Mockleme. Matt C. Ip. One more, dash side from a tough angle, and he goes low to low. Check that. That was 33 Kelvin Mack with the opportunity. Fellenberger read it the whole way. And one of his easier saves of the afternoon. Fellenberger from Berlin. Played in 2018 Worlds and the 2016 U20s for the Germans. Now running as Bastian. And now here's Florian Werner. Werner's got the short stick. As the Germans still making one last change. And on will come Jakob Bulkerman. Volkortsen. Werner still with the short stick matchup. Werner with a head of steam. Splits through X and rolls. Continues to stay with his strong right. Skipped up one more, and they sting the far corner. Winston Bastian. Bastian with his 7th of the tournament. And it's now a 4-goal game. And great work running through X was Volkortsen, and then Bastian on the step down goes far side on Wong. Pipe it in. And the Germans are rolling here in the late stages of the second quarter. Kinsen-Churng at the faceoff dot. And it will be picked up there by the Germans as Alexander Ben-Isa jumped all over that loose ball. Now he's going to go right down the pipe. Ben-Isa bouncer, and it goes well over the top. A round of drinks for the other defenders from Ben-Isa after missing that one.
Why can I not shoot a ball, man? What's even has to?
Hot Mike picking up Alexander Ben-Isa. Trying to figure out what's wrong with the stick. Now here come the Germans with a full set of offensive players on the field. Pears Olter. Felix Kientz. Olters. Has a matchup through X. Spins. Wheels through behind the cage. Back up top. Does he want it? No. Now he'll spin. And can't switch to his offhand. But the Germans continue the attack here. 2 minutes to go in the half. Per Olters on the wing now. Bangs it through X to Volskorden. Fakes it, takes it. Will hit Wong right in the chest. Good save by the Hong Kong goaltender. Wong will move it near side. And then he will get it right back as Hong Kong will go for a slow change. And then outlet finds a man through the middle of the field. One more up the field. Here comes Gay Chan. Gay Chan got stuck looking at the half field line. Didn't have anybody to pass to. Ball loose on the turf. And it'll be picked up there by Ip. And quickly a timeout called by Bob Snyder on the Hong Kong bench. So Hong Kong calls timeout with 1:13 remaining in the quarter. And an opportunity to cut into this German lead that stands at 4. As we mentioned, Hong Kong lost their opening game to Italy 13-5. They knocked off Scotland 9-7. Ip had 4 goals and 5 points. And Fung, between the pipes, had 9 saves. Then they went on to beat Austria 9-6. Outscored the Austrians 4-1 in the final 16 minutes and 20 seconds. And then they rounded out the group play with a 14-7 win against Mexico. They're up 4-0 after one. The teams combined for 10 goals in the fourth quarter. But talking with some of the Hong Kong coaching staff, they really felt that that was a big moral boost for this Hong Kong team to knock off Mexico, a team that has quite a few NCAA North American born and bred players. and it kept them alive to try and get as high as 9th, would be the highest they've ever finished in a World Championships. The Germans lost a defensive battle 5-3 to Jamaica to start the tournament. They got a 3-goal win over Poland. It was 7-1 at halftime in that game. They beat New Zealand 9-6. They outscored New Zealand 6-0 in the third quarter. And then they walked across the Swiss 16-4 as Olters had 6 goals on 10 shots. That's how both these teams made it to the playoffs. The Germans lost to Japan. Hong Kong lost to the Haudenosaunee. And now the winner of this gets Italy. Here comes Hong Kong out of the timeout. Matt C. Evan Mockleme. Oh, pass right through a defender stick. Gets it right back, and he tries to shoot it. Gets so rebound. Dash Sai scores! Great job by Dash Sai to find that loose ball off the shot from Mockleme. I don't think it actually made it on target. It was knocked down by a defender. But Dash Sai able to jump on that loose ball and watch this quick release. Mockleme plays a little give and go. The shot gets blocked, comes right back to Dash Sai, and then he beats Bellenberger's stick side hip. And it's 5-2. 30 seconds in the half. Germany has possession, and they will call timeout. And so with 21.7 remaining, the Germans will have an opportunity to get that goal back and restore their 4-goal lead before the halftime break. Don't forget, this all can't be possible without the fine folks over at Rady's Children's Hospital, largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the top 10 in the United States. Thanks to all the fine folks over at Rady Children's Hospital. Earlier in the week, some of the players were down there putting sticks in some young kids' hands and seeing some smiles on some faces and just helping to continue to grow this great game in any way, shape, or form. But this tournament alone, the 2023 World Lacrosse Championships, has been an absolute spectacle. If you've been down here, you know it's just been some amazing lacrosse. If you've been watching all week long on ESPN, you know that this has been a heck of a grind for all these young men. The Haudenosaunee had the first 2 days off, and they've played every day since. Some of these teams are looking at playing 7-8 days of lacrosse. And in this heat and lack of shade, it's a grueling grind. And so these guys are running on low fumes, but still plenty to play for. Final 20. Here comes the Germans. Running through X was Sontovsky. Up top, Werner. Olters. 5 seconds. Volkwartsen shot. Save Wong. Loose ball. Oh, and the Germans were almost able to poke a loose ball in, but Wilson Wong able to find that loose one and keep it out. A late goal from Dash Sai makes it a 5-3 game. It was a fast start for the Germans as they scored the opening goal before it was quickly tied, but they would rattle off 4 straight to blow this thing open. When we come back, we'll break it all down. You're watching Hong Kong versus Germany from World Lacrosse Men's Championship 2023 from San Diego on ESPN. Wilson Wong has got a handful of saves in the first half, but his team trails 5-2. Welcome back to Germany versus Hong Kong. My name is Teddy Jenner. Find me on Twitter at Teddy Jenner. Follow the tournament at World Lacrosse. Make sure you use those hashtags WLMC and hashtag San Diego 2023. 30 minutes of regulation left between these two countries, battling it out with a right to stay in the battle for 9th. The winner gets the Italians, and for Hong Kong it would be a rematch with the Italians after their first game of the tournament. Hayden Churn wins the faceoff. Runs back into his own end. Takes a heavy slash. Flag down. And Churn just going to continue to run. Churn on the far sidelines. Able to tiptoe away from trouble. And now he's double teaming on the far side. Still has it. Eventually the ball pops free. And the officials will stop the clock just to talk about the flags that are thrown. They want to just make sure that they both got the same call. And I think it's just going to be one penalty being called on Iskander Ben Isa. And so Hong Kong China will try to put their number 1 ranked extra man unit to work. They're 0 for so far here tonight. Matt C. Tony Ko. Skip pass. Shot. Woo-hoo! Top corner stinger. What an absolute rope. Liam Ferris. The young man out of Toronto plays with Mimico. And this was an absolute laser beam to the top corner. You can hear supporters for the Hong Kong China team absolutely loving that outside shot from Liam Ferris as he gets his 7th of the tournament. It's a 2-goal game. And the penalty still runs here for the Germans, Iskander Ben Isa. Ball still loose off the face-off. And coming up a little limp there is Hayden Churn as he slowly makes his way off the field. Another flag down. So the Germans getting into a bit of penalty trouble here in the start of the second half. And this one's going to go to Peter Wittmann. It's going to be a cross-check called on Wittmann. And so what can Hong Kong do here? Tony Ko to Ip. Dash Sai. Shot. Scores again, top corner. Fellenberger thought he had it, but Tony Ko picks the exact same corner that Liam Ferris did. Watch this shot from Tony Ko. A step down. Fellenberger, I think, actually got a piece of it, but not enough. And it's now a 1-goal game. Hong Kong right back in this one. And the officials just unsettled about something here. 10 seconds left on the penalty. You heard the staff from the bench side officiating box. So we'll go to the face-off dot again. Now a 1-goal game. 2 quick goals in 3 minutes and 4 seconds by Hong Kong. Have them back within 1. Loose ball, excellently scooped up there by Ben Isa. He gives it back to Matthias Lena. And then Marius Boots will go field wide. And then a long outlet pass to Jakob Bokerman. Now, can the Germans settle here? Spent the first few minutes in their own end, short man. And now they've killed off the penalty. They did give up 2 extra man goals, but working quickly is Volkwartsen. Head of steam, Santovsky. Volkwartsen at X. Swings it near side, Eakins. He'll run off the pick from Bokerman. And now he's matched up with the short stick. Ho-Chak Sum. Eakins gets inside, switches hands, and he scores! Adam Eakins, his fourth of the tournament, stops the 2-goal run, restores the 2-goal lead. And that is a wonderful response by the Germans. Out of Hamburg, Germany, Eakins swim move, switches hands, goes far side off stick. And you can see Wilson Wong just struggling to get his hands crossed to make that save. That's why shooting off stick is so important for all you young shooters. You don't always want to shoot stick side high. The goalie stick sitting right there. And that was an excellent job by Eakins to make Wong work. But Eakins won. Good battle here at the face-off dot between Churn and Knutzman. And Germany wins possession. Good loose ball pickup by David Beckman. No, not David Beckham. David Beckman. It's a lacrosse tournament. So the Germans restore a 2-goal lead. Can they make it back to a 3-goal lead and erase those first 2 goals by Hong Kong to start the half? Guy Santovsky to Eakins, the latest goal scorer. Back to Santovsky. Late man on is Lucas Kientz. Changing is Beckman. Guy Santovsky. Santovsky rolls underneath, swings it through X, pass bobbled there by Volkortsen. He's heavily pressured on the end line, and then back to Santovsky. Santovsky flips it. Felix Kins bobbled it, but able to regain possession. Santovsky, Volkortsen. And Eakins has a short stick on him. He's going to try to get Volkortsen off to that short stick, and he does. Now do they want to attack? Volkortsen thought about it. Has the short stick hung up on the near side wing. Good long possession here for the Germans. Volkortsen gets to his high side, took a deflection, and backing it up is Jackie Chu. So a good possession comes away empty-handed for the Germans. And now running is Ho-Chak Sum. Give it off to Wing Churn. Ho-Chak Sum. And he'll leave it for Gay Chan and go for a change. Chan with the patience. He too calls Hong Kong home and the University of Hong Kong his educational home. Matt C. Split dodge, gets the top center. One extra pass, good handle there. And now here comes Hong Kong and the heavy shot by Kelvin Mack. Turned aside by Fellenberger. Out of play, end line ball, TV timeout with 7:09 left. Hong Kong scored 2 early, but the Germans get one back. It's still a 2-goal game. 7:09 remaining. You're watching the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, brought to you by Rady Children's Hospital on ESPN. Hong Kong turns the ball over, and Germany has possession out of the TV timeout. 7 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Germany leading by 2, 6-4. Thanks for tuning in here on ESPN, day 8 of the World Championships. Here comes Germany on the run in transition. One more. Eakins, step down, double clutch, scores! Adam Eakins, as natural as it comes. Just look at this patience. They run through center in transition. Florian Werner, and then it gets to Eakins, and there's the first one. Gets Wilson Wong on his toes, and then hammers one low to low. And it's back to a 3-goal game as Eakins has 2. Volkortsen has a pair. Olters has a pair as well. And the solo coming from Winton Bastian. And the Germans have erased that 2-goal start by Hong Kong as Eakins gets his second straight. It has been a quality face-off battle here between these two teams, two of the best in the tournament. But Churn trying to find that loose ball. And who are they going to give possession to? They will say it went off Churn. Possession to Germany. Running is Wittmann. Wittmann will slow. Pass it off to Bastian. Bastian near side, Felix Kientz. Is able to roll away from Raymond Way. Give it off to Bastian. Bolkerman. And now Werner. Werner on the rollback. Olter shot kicked aside nicely there by Wilson Wong. Bolkerman. Werner. Skips through X. Eakins. Kientz. Bulldodge through his man. Takes a shot. Nice save by Wong. Popcorn save. Read it all the way through the stick. Maybe his best save so far the afternoon. Running through contact is Ho-Chak Sum. Gives it off to Tony Ko. And Hong Kong China will make changes here through the midfield and their back end. So Tony Ko, who's got a pair here. And his team is down 3. Kelvin Mack. Finds a late man. Tommy Churn. Mockleme, extra shot, save Fellenberger. Legging this one out. It's going to stay in, I believe. It does. And who's going to come away with this loose ball? The Germans do. Good work by Germany in their defensive end to find that loose ball. Battling through 2 Hong Kong sticks. And that was number 31, Patrick Schilling, with the hard work ground ball. Schultz. Back to Fellenberger. Fellenberg will walk towards the 2-on-1 and go bench side to the long pole. And now it's Per Olters. Pale Olters runs through the pick, picked up by the short stick of number 53. That's Logan Ip. Olters on Ip. Now they switch. He's picked up by Bill Lamb. Late man off the bench. Kientz, loose ball. Olters finds it in traffic. Gives it off to Eakins. And he can't pull the trigger. Hong Kong a little disorganized in the back end with 2.5 to go here in the third quarter, but they settle up, find their matchups. And now we'll try to limit the opportunity here for the Germans. Lucas Kientz. 1-on-1 with a short stick wing Churn. Kientz turns, flips it off. Volkortsen picks it up off the turf. Kientz drives, left hand, heavy shot, turned aside nicely there by Wong. Rebound comes right back to the Germans. Bastian. Zontovsky to Eakins. Olters. Volkortsen on the far side. Clock moving under 2 minutes here in the third quarter. 3-goal lead for the Germans. The winner gets the Italians tomorrow. Volkortsen splits and swims. Kientz. Olters, who now occupy high center of the field. And he's got the short stick. Now they rotate out of it, but he steps down and Wong turns it aside. They're trying to get the long stick matchup on Olters, and then they throw it away. Olters took advantage of the mix-up on the switch, and now they're scrambling. Santovsky, good defense there by Chuck Sum. Now Eakins has the short stick. A minute to go here. And every time they don't like their short stick matchup, Hong Kong is trying to switch out of it. But every time they do, Germany counters with attacking speed. Volkortsen to Eakins. And he can't handle it, and it falls out of play. 40 and running here in the third. Wilson Wong behind his own net. And they tried to get it to Matt C. sprinting out of the box. But instead, they'll bring it near side to Tommy Churng. Churng back to Wilson Wong, under 10 to go. He's got a man open in the middle. Finds it with a nice feed. That's Mockleme. Long shot pass was in between the two. And ends up going out of play. Germany will chuck this one all the way down the field, and the horn will go. After 3 quarters, it's a 3-goal lead for the Germans. Can they hold on? Or can Hong Kong, China find some last 15-minute legs? We'll find out when we come back. You've been watching the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship from San Diego, California, on the campus of San Diego State University, right here on the mothership ESPN. The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best hospitals for children in the entire nation. 7-4 here back at Rady Field. My name's Teddy Jenner. Thanks for tuning in. Germany leading by 3, 15 minutes to go. If they hold on, they'll have a date with the Italians. Elsewhere today, Scotland beat Poland 9-8 in double overtime. Philippines beat Peru 13-4. Australia beat England 10-5. The Haudenosaunee beat Japan 10-5. Sweden beat New Zealand 12-11. The Czech Republic over Korea Republic 10-4. And currently underway, Canada leading Jamaica 14-1. And Austria beating Denmark 8-3. Here's Eakins. Has the last 2 goals for the Germans to break this game open to a 3-goal lead. Adam Eakins will flip it off. And with a head of steam comes Winston Bastian. Volkortsen. Late man out of the box is Jakob Bokerman. Unmistakable. The long flowing hair floating out the back. Splits and rolls on his long pole defender. Gives one more to Eakins. Fakes it. Cuts back and comes to strong right. Eakins, very fluid, going right to left. Either way, he can dodge, he can pass. And a good-looking player is Adam Eakins. And then the pass from Volkortsen doesn't connect. That was intended for Florian Werner. And now Hong Kong will try and clear. Got a man in the middle, but they were slow getting the first pass away. And now they'll have to grind it out for this clear against a very heavy presence German team. Will drop all the way back to center. And again, no shot clock, but also no advancement clock here to get it out of your own zone or into the far restraining box. So you can be as patient as you want until the officials essentially tell you to hurry up. Long pass right underneath us. Evan Mockleme. Dash side, drives underneath, gets his angle, and a nice save by Fellenberger. His best of the night. Florian Fellenberger from Berlin. 9, says. And it stays a 3-goal game. All the way up ahead to Schilling right underneath us. Runs past the check of Logan Ip. Schilling. Per Olters. And again, Olters able to work towards a short stick matchup. Now here comes a double team. And a timeout from the German head coach, Adam Marshall. 12:19 remaining. And let's take a look at that save by Florian Fellenbacher as dash side gets underneath. And again, Fellenbacher rises stick to stick to make a huge save. He had a 6.00 goals against and a 42.9 save percentage in the group stage. Zinoviev, who hasn't played in this game but has played during the group play, had 6.7 goals against and also a 42.9 save percentage. So a nice duo between the pipes for the Germans. And Per Olters found this stat while just doing some prep earlier today. On March 23rd, 2019, he became the first German-born player to score a goal in Division I lacrosse. He did it in a 15-6 win over Hartford. And that was while he was at the University of Vermont playing for the Catamounts. If you want to go ahead and fact check me, go right ahead, but it came off the Catamounts website. And he's got a pair of goals here tonight to help his team to a 3-goal lead. And he's got 14 in the tournament. So Germany will have possession in the Hong Kong China zone. They'll start with Volkortsen. Florian Werner. Watched there by Wing Churn, number 13 in black. And Werner will carry all the way through X and work a two-man game at X with Bokerman. One thing these Germans do quite well is work the two-man game through X. Just trying to confuse the D, and they've got him confused. Here, there's a shot! Volkortsen. I think there was some confusion if it went in, but Volkortsen knew it right away. Give him the hat trick, and these boys are throwing some flames at the net. Watch this great skip pass to Volkortsen. Plants his feet, steps down, and stings the upper 90. And the ball pops immediately out, but officials saw it cross the goal line. And it's a 4-goal game here between Germany and Hong Kong. What can the Hong Kong players find deep within themselves to get them back in this game? They were down 6-4 at one point. 5-3. They got up to 5-4. They were within one early in the third. But since then, the Germans have rattled off 3 straight. And are once again back in command here. Again, the winner gets Italy. Running is Per Wittmann. All alone in the middle is the long pole. What a save by Wong. Looked like David Beckman sprinting down unmarked on the backside of the Hong Kong defense. And a glorious opportunity for the long pole to bury. But Wong denies him. Gay-Santovsky. Kientz. Now Lucas Kientz. Lucas is 7. Felix is 16. Now it's the big man, Adam Eakins. Eakins turns back, understands he's got the short stick matchup. And here comes the Hong Kong sort of dropping back into that zone a little bit when they don't have the matchup they want. Eakins kind of looking a little Audie Stotts-like driving there. Bodying up, and then inside roll.
We think it's 2-8 unassisted,
Gay-Santovsky. His third of the tournament. Watch this nice little inside roll off the feed from Eakins. Santovsky gets his defender high side, And then the slide help a little bit late from Ho-Chak Sum. And Sontovsky gives us our biggest lead of the game. It's 5. Under 9 to play on a moving clock. The wind continues here, as it almost always does, I've noticed in San Diego. I don't think I've had a game this week where it hasn't been windy. Off the loose ball faceoff. Here comes Hong Kong. Bouncer scores! Evan Mocklame right off the draw. That is a great response. Watch him. Scoops out this loose ball. Legs out the defense. Long poles don't slide. And he fires it past Fellenberger. As a nice response gets us back to a 4-goal game. And with 7:57 remaining, we've got a running clock, whistle down, procedure called on Hong Kong. So here comes Germany. They can see the Italians in their sights. They just got to finish this one strong with 7.5 to go. Up 4. Per Olters. Simon Wimmer. Lars Nietz back to Wimmer. Wimmer splits. Diagonal feed. Nicely picked off there by Wong. Came out of his crease. Now he's trying to find somebody to pass to. And will float it into the middle of the field to Wing Churn. Churn up ahead. Bill Lamb. Hong Kong running. Dash Sai. And now he's going to have to sprint to space as Churn goes for a change. Gay Chan. Chan will give it off bench side for a streaming Mocklame. High stepping. And pushed out nicely by the defense of David Beckman. Chan. Now Kelvin Mack. Here comes Hong Kong with an inside feed. Unable to find that one was Mocklame. Now Germany going to try and run. Pressure from behind. And a man down for Germany. That's Peter Wittmann. And the officials now just see him down, and they will call an official timeout with 5:56 remaining. And some unsure faces for this German team and their staff, as Wittmann didn't quite see what happened, but he looks like he's going to be okay. Maybe he just took an extra slash, but we come back. Final 5:56 remaining in regulation. The Germans up by 4 on Hong Kong. It's a World Lacrosse Men's Championship from San Diego on ESPN. 5:30 here in San Diego, 2:30 in the morning out there in Frankfurt, and 8:32 in Hong Kong. My name is Teddy Jenner. Welcome to the final 5 minutes and 40 seconds of this game between Germany and Hong Kong. The winner gets Italy in the next advancement round and keep the hopes of finishing 9th alive. Hong Kong going 10-man, and Per Olters will walk it to the open net. His third. And you can't blame Hong Kong for trying. They had to do something to try to get the possession back. But Per Olters, aware of the situation and understanding that if he just keeps running, there'll be nobody in front of him to stop him. And that might be the easiest one he scored all tournament. He's got 3 tonight, 15th of the tournament. He has been a huge bright spot for this German team who are looking to win their 4th of the tournament. Went 3-1 in pool play. Lost to Jamaica on the opening night. Lost to Japan last night. And trying to lock up a win here this afternoon in advance. Olter's running again. Wilson Chong in back between the pipes. Cross check and an overhand ice pick from the Hong Kong defender, but Olter still has it. One hand flip inside. Volkwartsen blocked down there by Wong. Might have even been the defenseman stepping in between the pipes. And then it's kicked out of play by a Hong Kong defender. It'll stay here with Germany. Double team comes. Wong out of his crease. Bolkerman. And a timeout called by the Germans with exactly 4 minutes remaining on this one. We talked about Logan Ip, number 53 for Hong Kong, being the CLF Player of the Year. So right down the road, Newport Beach, goes to Harvard, and he attended Corona Del Mar High School, which is about an hour and a half away. And at Harvard, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points in his freshman year. And now, making his debut with the men's national team. It's the 7th World Championship for Germany way back in 2018, or last year, so way back. Come on, Ted. Way back in 1998 and 2010 was their best finish when they finished 6th in these championships. But whenever you lose that opening game of the tournament, it always kind of sets you back a little bit, puts that seed of doubt. You know you got to get some help along the way if you want to finish first in your pool. And by being second in your pool, you always get a tough matchup in that first playoff round. And Japan is no joke, folks. Sure, the Haudenosaunee handled them in their quarterfinal matchup, but that Japanese team will be pushing for a spot in the A division, A pool at the next tournament. It hasn't been announced yet where the next field championships will be, but expect an announcement. I don't know when, but expect an announcement. That's how things work. They get announced eventually. Hong Kong pulling their goaltender again, trying to double team in the corner. And deep in the corner. Hong Kong turns it over, and then just a no-look flip to the middle of the field. And finally, we've got someone to pick that loose ball up, and now they're going to run with Ho Chek Sum. Down 5, 3:40 to go. And Hong Kong wants a timeout, and they'll get it. Hong Kong lost their first game 13-5 to Italy. And like I said, they were down 7-2 after the first quarter. And the Italians were fresh. They were motivated. It was their first game as well. And Hong Kong just was unable to bounce back after that first quarter. But since then, they've gone 3-1, including that 13-3 loss to Haudenosaunee last night, where they were again down 8-1. In that contest. But wins against Scotland, Austria, and a big win over Mexico can give this group hope for years to come that they're doing the right things. 5 days a week, this group is practicing together back home in Hong Kong under the lights, coached by Jordan Wong, just because so many of their guys are mainland Chinese and from Hong Kong. And so that just continues to allow them to evolve and get better. And expect this team to continue to develop, especially under the guys of Bobby Snyder, Corbin Tao, and Dan McRae, and Jordan Wong. And they've had some great people working down the lines in the past. Scott Browning, another one who put yeoman's effort in trying to grow Hong Kong China lacrosse over the years. So great to see them still competing at a high level. They're only down 5 here. Stranger things have happened. Heavy outside shot off the uprights. Passed behind Fellenberger. And now there's really no holding back for Hong Kong. You got to go, and you got to go quickly. Here's Logan Ip. Gets the goal line extended, and he tried to wrap it around off the pipe, but just missed. Tony Coe will back it up. It'll stay here with 3 minutes to go. Tony Coe. Mockleme splits, carries, shoots. And I don't know if Fellenbacher got his head on that, but threw the helmet in the way, using any part of his body to try to make a save. Here's Matt C. C spins away from trouble. Gives it off to Coe. 53's Ip. Double teamed. Rolls. Mockleme! Check that. Dash Sai with the highlight reel goal. His second of the night. And off the two-man game, Ip finds his good buddy Dash Sai. And then just the reverse shovel shot. Been watching the Haudenosaunee. And that's an excellent goal by Dash Sai. From right down the road in La Jolla, California. Be back at Stanford this year. And Dash competed in the 2022 U20s. Churng wins the draw, takes a couple slashes and a quick timeout by the Hong Kong bench with under 2 minutes to play. There's still life in the men in black. Down 4 with 1:55 to go. Can they pull off this upset in a battle between number 11 Germany and number 14 Hong Kong, China? Both teams 3-1 in pool play, finishing second. So how it worked was the top teams in Pool A, 1 through 5, took seeds 1 through 5. And then the winners of the subsequent pool, based on their record and goal differential, were ranked 6 through 10. And then all the second place teams, again, ranked by their record and goal differential, were ranked 11 through 14. 11 through 15. But 1 through 14 advanced to the championship bracket. Canada and the USA had yesterday off before the quarterfinals started today. And coming up later today, Israel, United States at Torero Stadium. That's just down the road. Netherlands, Puerto Rico will be right after this game. And then Uganda, Switzerland up over on Wolf Epic Field. And that'll wrap things up. Things get started tomorrow, 10 a.m. Philippines, Scotland, Peru, Poland. And then the winner of this game will play Italy. That will be at 10 a.m. Here comes Hong Kong, down 4, trying to press. Germans dropping into a bit of a tight box zone. They don't want to let anything inside. Hesitation. Sai, shot off his hip, blocked in front, loose ball. And then a push from behind by Mockleme. That'll give possession to the Germans with 1.5 minutes left. Fellenberger in his own crease. And again, they can just sit and eat this if they want and run this game out. Lena gives it off to Marius Boots. And the Germans have crossed center now. Wittmann, good to see that he's going to be okay and back out on the field. Florian Werner running with under 1 minute to play. And this is all the Germans need to do, is just keep the ball hot, keep their feet moving. Werner been tasked with being the gazelle. Now give it off to Gay Santovsky. Santovsky sprinting, net empty. No need to go to the net as we're under 30 seconds to play. Santovsky trying to get a flag, none coming from the officials. And we'll bang it far side, and the stall is on. Germany got to keep it in the box. And pushed out of play nicely there, as Hong Kong will have maybe one final possession here. Long pass through center. Picked up there by Logan Ip. What can he do in the final seconds? Ip takes a big hit. Flag down. Driving. Shooting. Saved by the goaltender Fellenbacher. And with 5.7 seconds left, I believe it'll be Matthias Lena sitting down on the illegal body check. And one last opportunity here for Hong Kong to get one more goal. 5.7 remaining. Skip feed. Mockleme, save Fellenbacher, and that'll end it, and Germany advances. They will face the Italians tomorrow. 9th place still lives in Hong Kong. We'll still have games, but we'll have to battle for a position outside the top 10. A fantastic contest between two continuing to develop nations, but the Germans were too strong on this afternoon. My name's Teddy Jenner. Thank you for tuning in. You've been watching the World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital here from San Diego, California. The final score, Germany 10, Hong Kong 6. Germany and Italy tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Still games coming up here from Rady Field, so make sure you tune in on ESPN until we speak again. Stay safe and be excellent to each other.